For the royal family, enjoying the finer things in life is part of the job, and that's certainly the case for Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh. From luxurious vacations to private chefs, Prince Edward's wife lives a glamorous, jet-setting life. One of the biggest perks of being a royal has to be the clothes. Members of the royal family have plenty of opportunities to get dressed up, and over the years, Sophie has built up a pretty enviable wardrobe. Sophie tends to stick to the royal dress code for official events and appears to share a few favourite designers with fellow royal Kate Middleton. For instance, both have been spotted in Amelia Wicksteed, Susanna and Alexander McQueen. In other words, Sophie has very good style. In addition to her designer-filled wardrobe, Sophie is also the proud owner of a very pricey jewellery collection. According to James Constantinou, founder of Prestige Pawnbrokers, her collection might be worth over £3 million. Among her pieces is the Anthemian tiara, which she wore on her wedding day. It is reportedly worth £1 million. However, some of Sophie's jewels are fairly controversial. Apparently, Sophie accepted 2 extravagant sets of jewels from the Bahraini royal family. Former Foreign Office Minister Dennis McShane said that Sophie should give up the jewels for a good cause. He told the Daily Mail, "Given the appalling suffering and repression of the Bahraini people, it would be a fitting gesture for the Countess of Wessex to auction these trinkets and distribute the proceeds to the victims of the regime." Sophie may have a covetable jewellery collection, but there is one particular piece that blows all of her other accessories out of the water. Yes, we are talking about her engagement ring. The royals are known for going all out when it comes to engagement rings. Queen Elizabeth II, for instance, was given a ring set with 11 diamonds, while Princess Diana wore a ring set with a 12-carat Ceylon sapphire.
This wonderful sapphire and diamond.
However, it turns out Sophie might have the most valuable ring of all. Sophie's ring is more delicate and unassuming than Diana's, but apparently it came with a huge price tag. Alison Cooper, CEO of Alicia J Diamonds, told Express, "This royal's 2.05-carat white gold engagement ring is thought to be the most expensive royal engagement ring ever purchased, with an estimated value of £105,000. Like most royals, Sophie gets plenty of opportunities to jet off on lavish vacations in between her royal duties. In 2014, for instance, Sophie and her family spent the summer relaxing in Espalmador, an island off the coast of Ibiza. In 2019 and 2023, Sophie and her family hit the slopes at the luxurious Corviglia Ski Club in Switzerland, a private members-only ski club often frequented by the royals. Of course, like other members of the royal family, Sophie and her husband, Prince Edward, also spend a lot of their holidays with extended family in Balmoral, the luxurious royal estate in Scotland. While Sophie goes on her fair share of personal vacations with her family, she's also invited to take part in plenty of official royal events. Sophie has attended numerous royal banquets, garden parties, premieres, and charity galas. In fact, her life seems to be an endless series of glamorous events. Sophie has also attended plenty of glitzy events during her royal trips abroad too. In 2023, the Duchess paid a solo visit to Canada, where she went to a winery and attended a glamorous dinner at Niagara-on-the-Lake. That year, Sophie also visited South America, where she visited the city's cultural center for dance and choreography. A year earlier, she and her husband spent time in the Caribbean. Their tour included meeting locals and viewing performances. Although Sophie spends much of her time traveling around the world, when she's at home, her life is just as luxurious. Sophie and Prince Edward live at Bagshot Park, a huge royal estate in Surrey. The home was given to the couple by the late Queen Elizabeth II as a wedding gift in 1999. The property sits on 51 acres of land and has an estimated 120 rooms. The grounds include a pool, a terrace, and a tennis court, along with extensive manicured gardens. While we don't know too much about the interior of the house, the couple filmed several videos within their home during the pandemic, revealing antique decor, expensive paintings, expansive rooms, and 2 kitchens. Naturally, royal weddings are never simple affairs. Most royals tie the knot in lavish ceremonies in London's Westminster Abbey in front of hundreds of famous guests, while crowds of thousands wait outside, hoping to catch a glimpse of the couple. For Sophie and Prince Edward, it was no different. Sophie wore pearl earrings and a matching necklace, which had been commissioned by Edward as a wedding gift.
These are a personal present from His Royal Highness to Sophie on their big day.
She also wore a stunning gown by Samantha Shaw, which was covered in delicate rows of pearl and crystal beading, 325,000 of them to be exact. As Shaw explained to Tatler, the dress was actually designed to conceal a second secret dress. Shaw told the outlet, There was an evening dress under the coat dress, which was to remain super private for the evening dinner, and I had to get the fabric perfectly dyed to colour match the beautiful stone of St George's Chapel. As a member of the royal family, Sophie doesn't do many domestic chores. Instead, she has a large staff to help around the house. Back in 2020, the Daily Mail reported that she and Prince Edward were hiring a cook on a £23,000 a year salary. The job listing read, "As the primary cook in the household, you will be responsible for the planning, preparation and cooking of daily meals. You will also monitor and replenish food supplies and equipment for the household. The chef would also be responsible for cooking for events and parties." In 2022, the couple also put out an ad for a program coordinator, essentially an assistant to help Sophie on a day-to-day basis. For most people, meeting the Queen, or King, is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. However, for Sophie, it's just a normal part of everyday life. In fact, before the death of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022, Sophie went on weekly riding trips with the monarch. Apparently, the tradition began after Sophie learned to ride in order to bond with the Queen. A friend of the Duchess told The Standard, "Sophie set herself a series of tasks. She learned how to ride properly and now rides with the Queen at least once a week." After the Queen's husband, Prince Philip, died in 2021, Sophie spent even more time with the Queen. Royal expert Duncan Larkham told The Sun, "Since the Duke's death in April, Sophie has driven the 10 miles from her Bagshot Park home to Windsor Castle every few days and most weekends to spend socially distanced time with Her Majesty."
A royal source actually told people that the Queen and Sophie are remarkably close, and that Sophie is actually the Queen's favorite daughter-in-law.
How does Sophie like to unwind at the end of a long day of royal duties? With a glass of fine wine, naturally. Personal trainer Jeremiah Daniel told Express, "Her diet consists of predominantly natural, unprocessed foods such as vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts and seeds, fish, olive oil, and moderate amounts of red wine." Naturally, Sophie had to pay a visit to a local winery during her 2023 trip to Canada. Plus, back in 2014, Sophie and Prince Edward paid a visit to the Three Quires Vineyards in England, where she looked very happy to sample the British wines on offer. Sophie also has expensive taste when it comes to gin. Her favourite is allegedly Silent Pool, which she told the owner she loved, according to Express. She is, it seems, less of a fan of whiskey. In 2021, she visited a health food market in Northern Ireland where she sampled a whiskey and struggled to get it down. The royals are known to give surprisingly down-to-earth, personalised gifts to their loved ones. That said, Sophie has both given and received a few pricier gifts in her time as a royal. For her wedding, the Queen Mother gave Sophie her bejeweled hair clip. In 2019, she was given a patronage by Prince Philip, the patronage of the Chartered Management Institute, which was considered a great honour. Then, in 2022, Queen Elizabeth II gifted Sophie one of Prince Philip's royal rolls. She has also given her fair share of lavish gifts. For instance, in 2023, The Mirror reported that Sophie gave Kate Middleton a jumpsuit worth £325. Donna Ida, the designer of the jumpsuit, told the outlet, "My friend, a stylist, is best friends with Sophie Wessex, and Sophie buys from us. Sophie got our black Sadie jumpsuit for herself and then asked for one for Kate. She said, 'Kate wants one. Can I get one as well?'" Motherhood is usually anything but glamorous. However, for members of the royal family, it seems a little easier. Apparently, Sophie had the luxury of not one, but two nannies while she was raising her first child, Louise. While the two nannies were certainly extravagant, there was a reason. Sophie had a traumatic experience during labour and lost a huge amount of blood. So, while Louise was young, Sophie was still in physical recovery. Apparently, Sophie chose to employ nannies who trained at the famous Norland College. Kate Middleton later hired a nanny from the same college. As a source told The Mirror, Sophie had given Kate some nanny advice when she began her family, namely that she needed as much help as she could get. A source told The Mirror, "They both accept the view that they won't be able to do it all."